Graham again, and welcome back to my channel. Today my husband Duncan and I are going to be doing another video together. You're going to be reviewing a book.
Yes.
That you've just audiobooked.
Yes.
Yeah. And what book was that?
Nutshell by Ian McEwan. And it was narrated by Rory Kinnear.
Yeah, okay.
So I'd like to tell you what I thought about this book. It's a difficult book to review, as with the story that's referenced by the author, Hamlet. Ian McEwan writes a quote from Hamlet in the flyleaf. "O God, I could be bounded into a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space were it not that I have bad dreams." This is a work of such substance, and my memory is so insubstantial, I'm going to have to read some notes, so I'm sorry for not looking into the camera all the time. Some reviewers explain the book is based on Hamlet, and this is true that there's a murder involving siblings, but there the story similarities end. The similarities lie in the observations of the human condition and the masterful use of words. Novels using more words than Shakespeare originally did to write his play have been written to analyse the concepts in Hamlet, and this is a trap I'm not going to fall into in telling you about this book. The remarkable feature of this book is that it describes a really simple concept with a bunch of people who are really unlikable. They're very difficult to relate to, and the whole story is narrated by a fetus in the womb who has an enviable understanding of the human condition and a vocabulary and a perception second to none. Ian McEwan delivers a literary book that can't be taken literally. It's written in a language so captivating, it reminds me of eating honey from a jar. It's beautiful to read.
That's tasty.
Makes the pages sticky. I really enjoyed the book, and I'm struggling to say why. I hated the characters, I hated their values, I hated their house. The commentator, infuriatingly pompous, pedantic, enlightened and vague, self-aware and impotent, utterly trapped, deeply unhappy, and destined for misery. He was also just a wee bit of a windbag. I've read descriptions of life in concentration camps, and I've hated some of those characters less, and found admirable and relatable characters missing from these pages. So why is this book so wonderful? Why am I saying it's unmissable? The saga of disaster was utterly compelling. It's like watching a train rush towards the damaged bridge. Unlike Shakespeare, the language is contemporary, and there the dissimilarities end. The poetry is just pure prose. Sorry, the way he writes is like poetry in prose. The characters in the story, a murderous mother, her accomplice, the poet father, and the commentator. And really that's all there is to the story. But there's a few clues from the author, via the commentator, that hint that the story shouldn't be taken literally. There's a lot more to the story than the story. There's a comment that all this is imagination, and if you think of the developing scenarios in those terms, it seems to make a lot more sense. And this point was made because the fetus had an out-of-body experience where he listened into a conversation with the mother's love interest and the father, and a scenario was described that was contradicted by further developments. This book is unmissable, and it's one of the few books that I think I would enjoy reading more than once, and I'd recommend it to anyone. It's an unrepeatable experience.
An amazing book. It's
Really
amazing.
is.
I read this myself back in June 2017, and it's been in my mind ever since. If ever I'm in a charity shop and I see a copy of it, I will take it out of the shelf and I'll place it in front of the other books so that other people can see it, because I just feel that everyone needs to read this book. It's amazing.
When Graham described it, I thought, that sounds utter nonsense. It sounds too ridiculous to even contemplate reading. But it wore me down and made me listened to the audiobook, and I'm very glad he did. It's an unmissable experience, a radical concept, and beautifully written and presented.
I'm so glad that you finally did read it.
Yeah.
It is an amazing book. I first heard about this book on Sophie Carlin's page, Sophie Carlin's channel rather, and she said that it was one of the best things that she'd ever read, and it's one of the best things I've ever read. I mean, 2 years down the line, I can't stop thinking about it. It's an amazing book. It really is an incredible book. And
It's an earworm of a book, isn't it?
it really is. Once it gets in there, it's stuck, and in a good way for me. And exactly like Duncan says, it was like honey on the page. The craftsmanship in every single word on every single page was just stunning. Ian McEwan is an amazing author. I've read several of his other books. I've read On Chesil Beach. I've read The Children Act. I've read my lavender scented novel, I think it's called. Yeah, that's the one. And that was just a tiny little one, but still, I mean, it had bang for its buck. It was so good. And if you want to start with Ian McEwan, you have to start with this one. This one is incredible. It is so good. It's just so good.
I'm looking forward to reading more of them.
Yeah. And I'm going to be rereading this book soon, because in April we are going to be meeting Ian McEwan at a book signing, aren't we?
We are.
In St Andrews,
Yep.
with Topping and Company. The same bookshop that we met Ruby Wax through. And for that, it's his new book that he's releasing. And I think it's his first full-length novel since Nutshell. I think Nutshell was published in 2016. So it's Machines Like Us. It's set in the 1980s. It's in a parallel 1980s. I'll read you a few of the things that are said on Penguin's website. So Ian McEwan, sorry, I can't even speak. Ian McEwan's new novel, Machines Like Me. It says here that it will be released in the UK on the 18th of April 2019. Machines Like Me occurs in an alternative 1980s London where Britain has lost the Falklands War, Margaret Thatcher battles Tony Benn for power, and Alan Turing achieves a breakthrough in artificial intelligence. Number 3, the novel is about a love triangle between Charlie, Miranda and Adam, one of the first batch of synthetic humans. Number 4, Machines Like Me poses fundamental questions. What makes us human? Our outward deeds or our inner lives? Could a machine understand the human heart? Number 5, the novel was announced in the same year that Ian McEwan's novels On Chesil Beach and The Children Act both were released as feature films. Now, we haven't seen On Chesil Beach,
Nope.
but we've seen The Children Act.
Absolutely.
And it was amazing. The book was stunning. The film was gorgeous. Great. Absolutely amazing. Back to what we were saying about Nutshell. I found my sort of mini review from Instagram way back in June 2017. So this is what I've said. So I've just finished reading Nutshell by Ian McEwan. Wow, it was stunning. It's the story of a nearly full-term fetus in the womb. He overhears his mother and her lover, his uncle, plotting to kill his father. It is one of the most beautifully written and intelligent books I have ever read. It's also probably one of the weirdest, by far. This baby likes nothing more than when his mother is knocking back a chilled glass of Sancerre. I can't recommend this book enough. You have to read it. And you have to. It's amazing. It's so good. Ian McEwan is just... What would you say without sounding arsey?
Very difficult.
He's a tour de force in writing. Is that right? Or does that sound arsey?
I can't think of a way to describe my interpretation of his writing. It's beyond words. I've never read anything like it. I've never heard anything like it. I can only think I would say it was unique, but there's so many parallels between how Shakespeare wrote and what Ian McEwan writes. It's a world in a glass. Yeah. Beautifully, succinctly, poetically written. It's so well worth your time.
The prose are stunning. The prose are stunning.
Absolutely.
Message on Instagram. Someone clearly wants to get in touch. So, do you have anything else you want to say about Nutshell or about?
No, other than give it a try.
Oh, you have to give it a try.
I'm sure you'd love it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't praise it highly enough.
No.
It's so good.
Remarkable.
Yeah. So, on to the next thing. A few videos back, the last one that Duncan and I did together, I announced a giveaway because I had passed 100 subscribers. I know that, like I said then, that other booktubers have got hundreds of thousands, but to have 100 in such a short space of time, I think I think that's good. I'm proud of that. I'm chuffed. I'm happy with that. So I announced a giveaway of the book that we'd gone to see Ruby Wax in regards to. It's Ruby Wax with a Scientist and a Monk, How to Be Human, the manual, and the lovely sort of canvas tote bag that goes along with it, with rather nice interpretation of Ruby Wax on it.
Psyche boobs.
Psyche boobs. I launched the giveaway, and today I am announcing the winner. The winner is Edel Waugh, who follows me both on Instagram and on YouTube. I will be in touch with you, and we'll get this in the post hopefully very soon, and I hope that you love it. Yeah, and remember, it's a signed edition. There you go. So yeah, if you get in touch with me, Edel, that would be great. Do you have anything else to say?
Nope.
No? Nothing? You happy with that? Yeah? You like the book?
Book was good.
Read it again?
Read it again.
Yeah, cool. Well, thank you for watching this video. I think we've probably droned on enough.
You have.
I have. Yep. Oh, one more thing. See, I'm droning on again. One more thing.
Stop.
Hannah Tay over at Hannah Books and Beauty, her Tay Book Club, she has announced that this month is going to be A Passage to India by E.M. Forster. I'm looking forward to this.
Yes, and I'm going to have a go at it as well.
Yeah, you're going to audiobook it.
Yes.
And I'm going to read the physical copy. I had a bit of a crisis the other day when I was trying to find out if I owned a copy of it. And when I was looking online to purchase it, I saw an edition that I thought, I recognise that. And I was like, that's on my shelf. So I had it. I don't have to buy it. I've got it. It's great. So look forward to reading that. Yeah, cool. So nothing else to add?
Nothing at all.
Okay. You sure?
Absolutely. Bye bye, guys.
Bye bye. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support, and we'll be back soon with another video. Have a lovely day.
Bye bye.